talking the ultimate apex predator, the Arctic assassin. Let's dive right in. These guys are massive, but size actually isn't what makes them terrifying. They're the largest land carnivores. Males weigh a staggering 1,500 pounds, basically a small car. And they stand a towering 10 feet tall on their hind legs. Absolutely massive, right? But here's what's genuinely scary. Unlike most other bears, they literally look at us as food. They actively stalk humans. It's so bad that Arctic towns actually require dedicated polar bear patrols. To pull this off, they're built for the cold, evolving incredible skills for freezing temperatures. Now get this, their fur, it isn't actually white at all. Total myth. The fur is transparent and hollow. It only looks white because it reflects the light around it. Underneath, their skin is completely black. It's uniquely designed to absorb and retain vital body heat. But survival isn't just about staying warm, it's about being the ultimate incredibly lethal hunter. Their snouts are absolutely unmatched. They can sniff out a hidden seal from 20 miles away. To put that into perspective, that's like standing in New York and smelling a Philly burger. They're also relentless swimmers. Some have been tracked swimming over 400 kilometers nonstop. Seriously, they can literally just keep going for days without a single break. So, the crucial question is, what could possibly threaten such an unstoppable assassin? Well, the sad reality shifting this narrative is climate change and their rapidly melting kingdom. Because of this severe environmental shift, these once invincible hunters are now facing literal starvation. Sea ice melts earlier every year, completely destroying the platforms they desperately need to hunt seals. Without that vital ice, desperate, hungry bears are forced right into human towns looking for food. This leaves us with a stark verdict. Respect them, fear them, and hope we can save their habitat. So the haunting question remains, are we too late to save the ultimate predator from our changing world?
Animal that's equal parts majestic and absolutely terrifying. Ask yourself, what weighs 1,500 pounds and can literally outrun Usain Bolt?
The brown bear? This family includes both the infamous grizzlies and those massive Kodiaks.
For context, Kodiaks actually tie polar bears for the title of largest bear on Earth.
We're talking a staggering 1,500 pounds. That's a pure walking giant right there. See that shoulder hump? It's pure muscle, built specifically to power their massive digging claws.
That muscle lets them casually flip 500-pound rocks like they're just tiny pebbles.
But they aren't just strong. They're terrifyingly fast, hitting 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, this living tank will easily outrun the absolute fastest human being on the planet.
And rough terrain won't save you. They keep that speed uphill, downhill, through dense forests.
Let's bust a dangerous survival myth right now. Do not try to climb a tree.
Why? Because brown bears, especially younger ones, are excellent climbers. They'll just follow you up.
And if they don't climb, they'll simply wait you out. You cannot win that game.
Your best defense? Always carry bear spray, and if confronted, make yourself look incredibly big.
But honestly, the absolute best defense is just not being there. Avoid them completely.
Fueling this beast requires a massive diet. They'll eat salmon, roots, or literally entire moose.
Right before hibernation, a brown bear can gorge on a shocking 80 pounds of food daily.
Finding that food is a breeze. Their sense of smell beats a bloodhound by 7 times.
This insane radar lets them track a potential meal from over a full mile away.
The final verdict perfectly sums it up. Majestic, terrifying. Give them plenty of space.
So, knowing all this, how safe do you actually feel about your next camping trip?
Talk American black bears. They're basically just giant, trash-loving cousins to the raccoon. So you might be wondering just how many of these guys are wandering around in North America. Get this, over 800,000. That easily makes them the absolute most common bear on the continent. But hey, they aren't always black. You'll see brown, cinnamon, and even super rare white spirit bears. Now, compared to those massive brown bears, black bears are actually pretty compact. They top out around 600 pounds. And honestly, they'd way rather just run away from you than attack. And here's a wild fact about their diet. Only 10% of it is actually meat. The other 90%, plants, bugs, and yep, your trash, birdseed, and those tasty barbecue leftovers. So if they mostly eat berries and run away, what's the big problem here? Well, they are incredibly smart. They figured out that humans basically equal free food. And their break-in skills? Next level. They go from popping coolers to literally opening car doors. Plus, thanks to those sharp claws, they are absolutely excellent tree climbers. Mama bears will actually send their cubs scurrying up trees to stay safe while she fights off threats. Okay, now check out this crazy hibernation number. 7. These guys can hibernate for 7 straight months without eating, drinking, or even going to the bathroom. How? They literally recycle their own waste into protein while they sleep. It's nature's ultimate survival trick. So yeah, they're cute, but entirely chaotic. Seriously, go make sure your trash cans are locked tonight.
Asiatic black bear.
But first off, why do so many people actually call this awesome animal the moon bear?
Well, it gets that nickname from this brilliant white or cream crescent right on its chest.
And get this, every single mark is totally unique. It's literally just like a human fingerprint. You'll find these guys roaming through dense forests, stretching all the way from Iran to Japan.
Clocking in between 200 and 400 pounds, they're pretty solidly built, medium-sized bears.
Beyond that famous chest patch, they rock a short, dark coat and these huge, round ears.
Surprisingly, despite their size, these bears are incredibly agile. They're actually fantastic tree climbers.
They use those skills to build crazy, intricate nests way up in the canopy to eat and sleep.
Now, check this out. 8. That's the mind-blowing length of their tongue in inches. They use that massive tongue to easily scoop up tasty insects, honey, and fresh fruit. So how do they compare in temperament to the American black bears we know so well?
Well, moon bears are actually known to be way more aggressive than their American cousins.
Deeply feared by local farmers, they have a fierce reputation for attacking humans totally without warning.
But there's a dark reality here. The moon bear is among the world's most exploited bear species.
Tragically, they're poached for their gallbladders and farmed to extract bile for traditional medicine. Our sources sum it up perfectly. Beautiful markings, tragic story, need protection. So, will we act in time to save this incredibly unique species from such devastating exploitation?
Sloth bear. It's the ultimate living vacuum cleaner of the animal kingdom. It rocks this incredibly thick, totally shaggy coat of messy black fur. But then you've got this super distinct, cream-colored snout sticking right out, plus a stark white chest mark shaped right like a Y, or maybe a little necktie. Get this, early scientists were so confused they actually misclassified them as real sloths. Today, you'll spot these weirdos roaming around native habitats in India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. They pack a decent punch too, weighing right around 200 to 300 pounds. So do these guys chow down on berries and fish like regular bears? No way. They skip all that to feast entirely on thousands of tiny ants and termites. They literally wrap their flexible lips around their nose, close their nostrils, and suck up dinner. They even evolved a specialized gap in their front teeth just for rapid-fire bug vacuuming. As you can imagine, they're insanely loud eaters, just constant snorting, grunting, and huffing. Honestly, a feeding sloth bear sounds exactly like a very, very upset pig. But here's the big question. Should we let this goofy appearance fool us? Are they harmless? Absolutely not. They actually have a terrifying reputation for being wildly aggressive toward humans. Shockingly, in some parts of India, they've injured way more people than actual tigers have. So remember, they're weird and wonderful. But seriously, whatever you do, do not startle one.
The absolute smallest bear, but with the biggest attitude.
Seriously, they hold the official title for the smallest bear species on the entire planet. Clocking in at 60 to 150 pounds, they're basically the size of a large dog. Stand them upright on their hind legs, and they measure a measly 4 feet tall.
You'll find these elusive little guys roaming deep in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia.
They sport sleek black fur and a bright golden chest mark, hence the sunny name.
But hey, don't let that cute look fool you. These tiny bears are fiercely dangerous.
Check out these claws, up to 4 inches long, literally the longest of any bear.
Those huge curved claws are custom built for climbing, since they live way up in the trees.
And their snout height's another crazy surprise, a wildly long tongue measuring 10 whole inches.
They use it to slurp honey right out of beehives, earning the sweet nickname honey bears. Plus, they're super vocal. They constantly communicate with bizarre moans, clucks, and even loud roars.
Amazingly, when kept in captivity, they've actually figured out how to perfectly mimic human facial expressions.
But what's up with the incredibly loose, baggy skin around their necks? Any guesses?
Well, if another animal bites their neck, this loose hide lets them wildly strike right back.
Not a joke. They can literally twist completely around inside their own skin.
Before becoming fierce tree climbers, though, sun bear cubs are born totally blind and hairless.
At birth, these tiny, helpless little cubs weigh less than a single pound. So here's our verdict. They're small, fierce, and would absolutely climb you if threatened.
Knowing about their hidden weapons, will you ever look at a honey bear the same way?
Meet the spectacled bear. They're South America's only native bear species, and honestly, nature's best-kept secret.
You actually might know one already. Remember the classic pop culture icon Paddington Bear?
Turns out that famous bear from darkest Peru is totally real. Yep, he's a spectacled bear.
They get their name from those light markings around their eyes. It literally looks like they're wearing glasses.
And get this, no two are alike. Every single bear has a totally unique facial pattern, like fingerprints.
Their dark fur is actually pretty short, but they still rock this wonderfully shaggy, unkempt look.
Don't let that cuddly vibe fool you, though. These guys start at a solid 200 pounds.
They pack on weight fast, too, maxing out around 350 pounds on fully grown.
But here's the crazy twist. Despite that massive size, only 5% of their diet is meat.
That makes the spectacled bear the single most herbivorous bear species on the entire planet. Instead of hunting, they eat a crazy delicate menu. We're talking cactus, bromeliads, palm nuts, and orchid bulbs. They're incredibly tough. When food gets scarce, they can survive on almost nothing but dried leaves and cactus.
Where's this exotic buffet? High up in the Andes Mountains, stretching from Venezuela all the way to Bolivia.
Getting that food takes serious agility. People have actually spotted them scaling cacti 30 feet tall.
These climbers even build their own custom platforms way up in the canopy just to eat and sleep.
Tragically, their peaceful nature is no match for the rapid destruction of their shrinking Andean habitat.
Researchers perfectly call them the gentle vegetarians of the bear world. They desperately need our protection.
So here's the big question. What can we do to protect the vanishing home of the Andes' only bear?
The giant panda is totally the world's most famous bear. But biologically, it's absolutely the weirdest. These guys live exclusively way up high in the dense, super misty bamboo forests of central China. Get this, they spend a staggering 14 hours every single day doing exactly one thing, eating. And the volume is sheer madness. We're talking 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo daily. But here's the catch. They actually have a carnivore stomach, making that tough bamboo incredibly hard to digest. So this wild dietary mismatch literally forces them to eat non-stop just to get enough energy to survive. To cope, they evolved a crazy biological band-aid. It's basically a pseudo-thumb, functioning like a sixth finger. It's actually just an extended wrist bone acting as a fake thumb to perfectly grip tough stalks. Now, to make survival even harder, pandas are notoriously, overwhelmingly terrible at making more pandas. The timeline is actually shocking. Females are fertile for a mere 2 to 3 days a year. And in a total comedic tragedy, even during that tiny window, they often show zero interest in mating. But when they finally do give birth, the size difference between mom and baby is just absurd. A newborn panda weighs 3 to 5 ounces. That's literally the exact same as a stick of butter. The scale here is dramatic. The massive mother is an unbelievable 900 times heavier than her newborn. So this deadly combination of severe habitat loss and terrible reproductive odds very nearly drove them to extinction. But here's the amazing news. Human conservation efforts actually miraculously worked to save them from the brink. It literally took intensive breeding programs and super strict habitat protection to bring these incredible bears back. Thanks to us, they've achieved a triumphant upgrade. They're officially classified as vulnerable now, instead of endangered. The panda is a total paradox. It's the bear that absolutely shouldn't exist, but does, thanks entirely to us. We saved the panda, right? So, which wonderfully flawed survivor should we step in to save next?